Hi, welcome along to a new episode. We're going to be talking about something very important that a lot of us feel on in life. We all get up in the mornings, we go to our work, do our jobs, to pay our bills, and live life. But is your life outside of the workplace suffering because of what you're doing? Very, very important to get that right. And you need to make some really good decisions to make sure you're keeping in balance with that. So I'm going to share something that I've done recently after we get through these tips. So, how to prioritize your schedule for a better work-life balance with some time management tips. Let's get into it. Alright, so first up, you have to get the mindset and planning properly. You have to define your priorities. Make sure it's life first. Identify what truly matters: family, health, career, personal growth, and rank them weekly or monthly. Number two is to set some clear boundaries. Separate work from personal time. Use do not disturb hours for both of them. Number three is to visualize the ideal week. Block out time for work, rest, family, and hobbies. This will become your blueprint. Number four, start time blocking your calendar. Allocate chunks of time for tasks like work and meetings, exercise, meals, all the simple stuff that you take for granted. Make sure you time block it all and get a good balance of everything. Stick to it like it's an appointment. Number five is to use the Eisenhower matrix, and that is basically breaking everything up. Categorize tasks such as urgent or important as the do now stuff. Important, not urgent, that can get into a simple schedule. Urgent, not important, you can delegate that there if you're in the position to do that. And you know, there is always some stuff in there that you can simply just delete because it's not that important. Number six is to prioritize 3 key tasks per day. Very important one here. Just avoid long to-do lists and focus on 3 high-impact actions daily. And once you get them out of the way, you can bring in some of the smaller stuff. Number seven is to schedule breaks and downtime. Protect time for your lunch, short walks, and the evenings off. You may think you're not being productive, but whenever you're getting that stuff in there and making that part of your schedule, at the end of the day, it really is productivity fuel. Number eight is to start to use digital calendars or planners. Google Calendar, Notion, or physical planners help visualize and commit to the time blocks that you need. Number nine is to apply the 80-20 rule. Focus on the 20% of tasks that give 80% of the results. Eliminate or defer the rest. Number 10 is to batch similar tasks. Group emails, calls, errands, all that sort of stuff. Get it in together. This will help minimize context switching and increase your efficiency. 11 is to set reminders and alarms. Help yourself stick to transitions between work and life zones. 12. Say no without guilt. Decline non-essential meetings or social obligations when they conflict with your priorities. 13 is to be clear with others. Let colleagues and family know your availability and non-negotiables. 14. Negotiate flexibility. If possible, discuss flexible hours or remote work options to better match your lifestyle. Number 15, very important stuff we're getting into now. Start and end with a routine. Morning routines will set your tone for the day, whereas your evening routines will help you unplug from the day. 16 is to check in weekly. Reflect on what worked or what didn't work with your plans and schedules for the week beforehand, and adjust your priorities and schedule accordingly. 17 is to leave buffer time. Don't overbook and leave room between tasks for transitions and unexpected issues. And number 18, protect sleep and movement. Treat rest, exercise, and nutrition as essential appointments, not just extras. Alright, this has been a very important video for me because there's been some huge changes in my life in recent months. Since February of this year, everything has just upended itself compared to where I was at the end of last year. And I have found it very necessary to make sure that this sort of thing, getting your schedule right for a good work-life balance, is absolutely essential. I made the decision recently to switch jobs, job closer to home, better work hours. For years, I was in an employment where I was getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning. My first alarm was going off at 3:30 a.m. and I had to travel to work. Not that far away, but by the time you get up, I'm the sort of person needs a good dose of caffeine in the mornings, get myself going, and a little bit of time to wake up properly. I've never been the sort of person that can just jump up out of bed and zoom right out the door. I have to get up, have a nice breakfast, coffee, and start the day reasonably, just a little bit of time before I actually leave the house. So 3:30 a.m. up, breakfast, coffee, do bits and pieces about the house, and leaving for work to start at 5 a.m. And yeah, I was, because of that start time, the evenings were completely destroyed for for me. The very unsociable hours at the end of the day. So yeah, getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning. If you're going to be doing that, you really have to be, if you want to get some healthy sleep in there, you're going to have to be looking at, you know, jumping into bed at about 8 p.m. And that's the sort of time in the evenings where, if you've got a family and whatnot, you want to spend as much time as you can for that, you know, the work life balance. And like, I wasn't getting that. I've got no kids, no wife, and all that sort of stuff. But I do have myself a girlfriend right now. Very, very important relationship in my life. And because of those hours, we have been dating from, as I say, February time this year. And we were getting Saturdays, and that was it. And, you know, the long hours during the week, and the whole dating time on a Saturday, and then you were kind of, me personally, I was kind of like, catching up on a bit of sleep throughout Sunday. So you're only getting that one day. And yeah, it's not the sort of thing that works for a new relationship. So huge, huge deciding factor on me switching up careers at this moment at 46 years old was because finally I've started to realise that the work life balance is huge. And then I've got all this sort of stuff as well, so um, you need to time block it all. It's all in there, it's all in those tips that I just gave you there. All important stuff. I could balance everything, but you were kind of, you know, cutting someone off to do something else. So, getting those hours right to do the things you want to do is incredibly important. And very, very much so for me at the moment. Having said all that, there was a lot of things in my prior employment that did, you know, have a hand in me making that decision as well. But at the end of the day, the core of it was to get the work life balance properly, particularly in this new relationship I'm in, because it's so good. It's one of these relationships where you're kind of like, this is important. This is something that is going to be incredibly good if we work on it, get it right. And the job and hours I was doing, very, very unsociable. Um, you know, Work can devastate relationships. I've also been there. You know, um, it's not good. You see guys all the time that work is important, especially if you've got a family and kids and that there, and you're raising them and you want the best for them, and you have to commit time to make the money to support your family. But at the end of the day, if you're not having that work life balance, it's going to affect everything around you, including your family life, more so your family life than anything else. Um, an example from my own life, my father, fantastic man. I can't fault him in anything he did bringing us up. You know, everything that I personally needed whenever I was growing up was always there for me. Great, great parents. But he was a long distance truck driver. You know, many mornings he was, well, almost every day of the week, He was up, gone out of the house before I woke up, and in the evenings you weren't getting much time with him because, again, just like myself until recently, he was also getting up at stupid o'clock and heading off to his job. Didn't affect the relationship. Love the man to pieces. Unfortunately, he's been gone for 20 years now. But yeah, there was just something would have been nicer about that relationship if we had more time together. So up in the morning before I woke, and in the evenings whenever you're a bouncing kid wanting to play and get on, you were kind of keeping yourself quiet because your father was rolling in the bed to get some sleep. You didn't want to annoy him, so it does have an effect on people as well. Work-life balance is unbelievably important. Don't brush it under the carpet because you're thinking to yourself, you need to make money. A lot of things at the end of the day, whenever you sit down and really think about it and break it down, just as like that little story of my father there. Again, always had everything that we needed: roof over our head, food on the table, and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, now that he's gone, you're wishing that you had more of that time together as father and son. We did have that in the weekends, but it would be nice to have it a little bit more than we actually did whenever I was a kid. But again, can't fault the man. He did his job, you know, provided everything that the family needed. Uh, but yeah, sometimes uh, the personal side is much, much more important. And in a lot of workplaces these days, well, just like, at the bottom line at the end of the day for most companies, we need you to do this at a certain time, and they don't care about your work life balance. Fortunately for me, with the job that I'm about to start tomorrow morning, it's the sort of company that has, you know, something to cater to everyone where they're at and what they're doing. I'm very, very thankful for it. So yeah, I've made the decision to take some less hours, and also I'll not have to travel, use the car as much, so I'm going to be saving money there, and it's going to free up a heck of a lot of time in the evenings to work on the things that I am passionate about. Um, the relationship, the romantic relationship I'm currently in, we've got every evening now with no time frame of, oh, I need to go lie down, get some sleep because I have to get up for work in the morning. The hours are that good at the moment. I can do all this sort of thing in the morning online, and I've got my personal time with my yeah. I don't want to give away too much of my feelings at this point, but I couldn't be happier, and something very, very necessary to give it the best shot at working. So the future's bright at this point for me, and that's because I've finally made the decision to work out the work life balance and get it correct. So take a look at your own life and any ways you can improve it, because at the end of the day, relationships are the most important thing, whether it be your wife, your kids, whatever, you know, that is the most important thing. There's no point in having all the money in the world if you're sacrificing your personal relationships to get that money. Yeah, definitely take it on board and see if you can make any changes for the better for you and the people around you. That's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you found it informative and helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good social media stuff. And until the next one, stay safe, and I will talk to you all then.